Hey guys, welcome to a new episode of Style Revival. Today we are going to be reviving classical era Greece. I don't think there has ever been a period in history that has been actually revived, so many times as the classical Greek era. The Greek style, or things kind of inspired by the Greek style, have come back so many times all throughout history. You know, there's a reason why we call it the classical era. It is classic. It is just such a big source of inspiration all throughout history. Of course, ancient Greece was revived during the Renaissance. That's why it's called the Renaissance. But also later on, there were periods in the 17th century, in the early 18th century. Then, of course, the 19th century was very much inspired by Greek style. Now in the 20th and 21st century, the ancient Greek style just always returns because it's so simple and elegant, flattering, beautiful. It's just a really good style. So today I'm going to try and pull inspiration from the ancient Greek era and create a head-to-toe look with hair, makeup and outfit that is inspired by that era, but that does fit into our modern day life. Since ancient Greece is very long ago, very different from our modern style nowadays, I have decided to go for an evening look today. Previous looks I have done in this series were pretty casual, kind of everyday looks, but I feel like the Greek style is just so perfectly suitable for what we nowadays consider evening wear and a more kind of special occasion type of hair and makeup look as well. So that is what I'm gonna go for today. The ancient Greek style was very practical, especially the women's clothing usually consisted of just a large piece of fabric that was draped and pinned and kind of bound around the body in various ways, you know, for different occasions. But it's all very, very simple and practical. The hair was actually quite simple as well. When we think of ancient Greek hairstyles nowadays, we usually tend to think about these very elaborate kind of braided hairstyles. But the true ancient Greek hairstyles weren't actually that complicated at all. Women used to curl their hair or braid it, and then in the kind of later ancient Greek period, women would wear their hair up in buns or chignons. So this shouldn't be too hard to adapt into a more modern wearable style for us. So I'm gonna start with the makeup. Now, the ancient Greeks did wear makeup, especially the higher class, richer ladies did. The ancient Greeks already had the whole admiration for pale skin, which meant you were rich, didn't have to work outside in the fields, obviously. So women in ancient Greece actually already used the white lead makeup that has become detrimental to women pretty much all throughout history. Yeah, so a pale skin was definitely desirable. So I am going to start out with a layer of foundation and concealer, but I am going to stick to my natural skin color because we want this to be a modern look. I just want everything to be nice and even, so I'm gonna blend this into my skin. And for my concealer, I am going to go a couple of shades lighter than my natural skin color, and this is still going to create the illusion of kind of bright and light skin without it being too obvious that I have like lighter makeup on my face. So another thing that ancient Greek women wore was red paint on their cheeks and lips. This is something that has been done all throughout history. It's kind of your basic makeup, like the most basic of basic makeups. So I'm going to take a cheek and lip stain here that is a nice deep pinkish reddish color, and I'm going to dab this onto my cheeks in a couple of layers until I get a nice flush of color on my cheeks, and then I'm going to apply this onto my lips as well. And I'm going to try and keep it nice and natural, nothing too over the top here. Now, probably the most remarkable thing about ancient Greek makeup is the fact that women would actually draw in their eyebrows so that they connect. For some reason, they thought that a connecting eyebrow was a very beautiful thing, so they drew that in with kohl or whatever dark base they had. So I am not going to do that because it would be pretty unsuitable for the modern age, I have to say. So I'm just going to go for a strong brow in a modern shape to kind of get the look and feel of Greek eyebrows, but not actually have to do the whole unibrow thing. So I am going to draw in my eyebrows quite strongly and then go over with a brow gel to make sure that they are set nicely in this shape. Now for my eyes, I'm not going to apply any eyeshadow, but I am going to take a pencil eyeliner, just a black pencil eyeliner, and I'm going to line the top lash line. And I'm only going to line about 2/3 of the way in, and then I'm going to take an angled brush and I'm going to blend this inwards to the inner corner of my eye, and I'm also going to blend upwards to kind of smudge this line just a little bit, make it look a little bit more natural. And then the last step for the makeup is to apply a little bit of mascara on my top and bottom lashes. Again, for a little bit more of a dark rimmed eye look, which is what they loved in ancient Greece. but also because it just looks good to us nowadays. And there's your makeup look already done. So moving on to the hair. Now, like I mentioned, especially in kind of earlier Greece, women wore their hair curly and most of the time just down or tied back with a simple ribbon or headband type of thing. And then more later on, we get the whole typical kind of large buns and chignons, curly buns with the multiple headbands that are so iconic to us nowadays. So I'm gonna make a little bit of a combination, something that is very reminiscent of ancient Greece, but also pretty modern in my opinion, very wearable in any case. So to start out, I'm going to spray my hair with a little bit of heat protector, and then I'm going to section it off and curl section by section. So when my hair is curled, I'm going to spray it with a little bit of hairspray for some extra hold, and then I am going to give it a couple of minutes to cool down before running my hands through and separating these curls, making them a little bit softer and more natural. I didn't curl my bangs, by the way. I decided to leave them as they are for this look to give the whole thing a little bit more of a modern feel. I'm going to take a little section of hair from my crown, so the very top of my head, and I am going to back on this just a little bit to create a little bit of a poof. Then I'm going to pull the rest of my hair back over that, pull everything back onto my crown and tie my hair in a ponytail here with a little hair elastic. So next I'm going to take a braided headband. You can buy one of these, of course. If you have a little bit fuller hair than I do, then you can of course just braid a piece of your own hair and just wear it over your head like this. But I'm going to take this little headband that I have here and I'm going to put this on my head just a little bit behind where my bangs are, and I'm going to pull some hair up in front of it or kind of poof it up so that I kind of have two poofs going on top of my head, and this gives a very kind of Greek feel to the hairstyle. So when that is done, I'm gonna start pinning my curls. So I'm gonna first just take some strands of hair from my ponytail, from the top of it, and pin them up a little bit higher. And then I'm going to take the bottom of my ponytail, and I'm also going to pin those curls. And this just creates a really simple chignon. Super quick, super simple, but I think it looks really nice. So as you're pinning the curls, just keep checking in the mirror and readjusting until you're happy with the hairstyle. And there is your ancient Greece inspired hairstyle completely done. So for the clothing. Now, like I mentioned before, ancient Greek clothing was really simple, even though not as simple as you may think. I think many people expect ancient Greek clothing to be white, because it's what we see a lot nowadays, but it was actually colored. It was either the natural color of the material that was used, or if the owner was a little bit richer and could afford some dyes, it would have been dyed in pretty bright colors and most definitely have patterns on it. Now, what is definitely iconic for ancient Greek female fashion is to have bare arms. Many of the styles in which you kind of wrap the fabric around, if you had one of those Greek pieces of fabric, was just ended up with bare arms. Also, of course, floor-length dresses and the kind of cinched waistline with pretty overflowing fabric around the waistline. Like I mentioned, ancient Greek style is very popular, is brought back often by fashion designers and just in fashion in general. You can very often find Greek-inspired fashion or things that would fit this kind of Greek, this kind of ancient Greek aesthetic. So I have this dress myself, which is floor-length, flowy, a little bit of a soft peach color. It's a really beautiful dress, and because it has the high waistband and a little bit of bedazzlement, the ancient Greeks absolutely loved their treasures. It gives off a very ancient Greek vibe, so I picked out this dress for this episode. You can wear something similar, or depending on how authentic you want to make this and versus how modern you want it to look, you could always, of course, just take a long piece of fabric and wrap it around the way the ancient Greeks did. There are tutorials online for how to kind of pin and wrap a ancient Greek dress. So I decided to pair this dress with a lot of bracelets. Like I mentioned, ancient Greek women, they loved their jewelry. They wore necklaces, bracelets, headpieces, of course. So you can definitely rock some jewelry if you like to. And for these shoes, now ancient Greeks, they went either barefoot or they wore leather sandals. So, of course, we still have sandals nowadays, so you can just pick out a pair that goes with your dress. I would have loved to go for a pair of silver sandals, but I don't have any, so I'm gonna go with these ones that I do have, which are just simple and black. Sandals are definitely a must if you're trying to revive ancient Greece. That is the entire look done. Now, if you wanted to go for a more casual look, you can always just wear a floor-length skirt, or wear a looser top on top, cinch it at the waist with a belt, or you could actually wear jeans if you're more comfortable with that, and wear a top that looks very kind of folded and draped, and then cinch it at the waist again. There are so many options and ways you can revive the ancient Greek style, so have fun with it, play around. So I really hope you enjoyed this episode of Style Revival, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy, don't forget to give a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. If you would like to support me on Patreon, I will have a link in the description box below. Thank you so much. I will have another video here that you may also enjoy, you can go watch next. Thank you for watching once again, and I will see you very soon in my next video. Bye!